less than 3 weeks to go until OneSpark 2014. So 20 days left till OneSpark. OneSpark will take place from April 9th through the 13th in downtown Jacksonville. And to share a little bit more about what you can expect for this year, we're going to bring out OneSpark's Executive Director, Joe Sampson.
Now, one last piece before I get rolling, I want to introduce Mayor Brown to say a few words about the city's ongoing commitment to Jacksonville as a place for creators from all walks of life. Mayor Alvin Brown.
Thank you, Joe, for that kind introduction. And it's great to be downtown, don't you think? First, I want to acknowledge those key individuals who had the vision, passion, the conviction, and commitment to see OneSpark come to reality. And that's Peter Rummel, Michael Munns, Bill Prescott, Elton Rivas. Let's applaud them for their leadership. Peter Rummel was the OneSpark that got me elected. So let's applaud him, because I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for Peter Rummel. OneSpark has put Jacksonville on the map in more ways than one. And I really want to say to all the creators out there, thank you for sharing your ideas and participating last year. Now it's over 600 creators, and let's applaud them, because it's your ideas that's going to make the difference for OneSpark and people all around the country, around the world, that look to Jacksonville as a place to share your ideas and be innovative and be creative. And so I want to thank you for that. And as Mayor of Jacksonville, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure we do our part, working with City Council. Thank you, and God bless you.
OneSpark attendees, as well as backers from anywhere in the world. Let me repeat that. This year, backers from anywhere in the world are going to be able to contribute to OneSpark creator projects. That means that you, your friend Steve in New York, your friend Mary in LA, they can all browse projects and contribute to them through a free account at onespark.com or using the OneSpark app. Now it gets even cooler when I share that the creator project that receives the most individual contributions are going to receive an additional $10,000. Last but certainly not least, you may have heard this bit of big news recently, but OneSpark 2014 creator projects have the opportunity to connect their projects with up to $3.25 million in potential capital investments. Now, contributing to this investment pool for OneSpark 2014 are our friends at PS27 Ventures, Florida Blue, Healthbox, Unit Economic Investors, and of course, you may all have already heard of them, Shadcom's Stash Investments Corp. And perhaps, we should look at that. Perhaps the coolest thing about OneSpark is that you get to engage and support the creators of tomorrow in a real-life version of Kickstarter meets a modern-day World's Fair setting.
All right, I'd like to invite out one of the co-founders of OneSpark to the stage. Please give a warm OneSpark welcome to Elton Rivas.
Thank you all so much for coming out this evening, and Joe just told me I was supposed to tease you more before we get to the big news. I know, blame Joe. Honestly though, it's pretty amazing for myself personally, and I'm nervous, I'm excited, really happy about what we're about to share with the world. I remember last time that I was here talking about OneSpark was a year and a week week ago. It was our third town hall before we had our big event in Jacksonville. And before we go into these few pieces of information that we need to share about OneSpark, I've got to reiterate a few things that Joe said. First and foremost, get your Speaker Series ticket. Get the app, right? So go do those things. You get free Wi-Fi on the OneSpark Wi-Fi address in here right now. But even more importantly than that, the ability for people anywhere in the world to contribute to the creators at this year's event. That's a massive change compared to what it was last year, right? Last year you had to be here in person, you had to register to vote, check in, and then once you did that, you could contribute. You could go home and contribute, you could contribute in person. The story I always tell the media when they ask about, like, what's the one thing that stood out, was I saw two 80-year-old, like, best friends forever women walk up to one of the registration and voting kiosks. They had the event guide tucked up under their arm. They walked up and they said, I want to vote for this project, I want to vote for this project, and here's $5 for that guy. It's like, okay, I think people get it, right? So there's that piece. But we heard last year that it was really, really important for creators to get more access to funding. And so this year, not only the megaphone of A&E doing a documentary, and that's huge news, but in addition to that, the ability for people to contribute to these creators' projects in real time in any amount, right? Plus the hundreds of thousands of dollars that will be distributed by the public vote still, which you have to be here in person for. That's a huge shift in where we're headed. I'm going to ask Dennis and Barrick to come out here in a bit. But first I want to tell you a story about how we got to where we're at now. So we started, and it's a true story. People ask, like, oh, did you guys make that up? You know, were you sitting at a coffee shop one day, oh, that's just the story you want to tell? No, in actuality, we were sitting at a coffee shop off of Southside, and talked about things and said, you know, there's got to be a better way to connect great ideas with the resources they need in the city that we all love. And let's give it a run. Let's see what happens in a couple of years. We're very, very blessed to be, you know, supported by some great people in the city that believed in the concept and believed in the energy in Jacksonville. And, you know, I've had the fortunate experience to be able to travel a lot since OneSpark last year. Took a bit of a break and traveled and started building another company quickly. And there was one thread that stuck. It's hard anywhere you go. Right? If you go to New York City, it's hard because there's so many people trying to launch things. If you go to Silicon Valley, you get the same thing. You know, you have to be $1 billion exit to matter on the radar screen. If you go to Memphis or Nashville or Charleston, it's hard because they don't have the same media outlets or density of population that other markets do. And this resonated, and it held true when you talk to, you know, artists that are looking for opportunities to get their work into somebody's hands that they can do another project. It held true for musicians that were out there trying to connect with a record label. And it deeply holds true for scientists that have great research and are trying to bring that to the forefront. So that problem and that early on issue that, you know, we thought, hey, let's try this in Jacksonville and see what happens. Obviously, over 100,000 people show up and go, crap, I guess we should keep doing something. So we thought hard. There was a great friend of the community, Travis, who's sitting up here somewhere this evening, and he said, hey, I really, really, really think OneSpark should be part of something bigger. So without it, I guess we'll go ahead and get to some of